What's going on, sports fans and YouTubers? Once again, it's Case to the Go for Vernon Speak Sports. Mostly talking about Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. Want to give a shout out to my fearless and true gang, War Eagle. Now, it's no secret that Auburn struggled mightily on offense, which is very uncharacteristic of a Gus Malzahn run offense, who usually has high numbers both in passing and in running the football. So with the marriage between Gus Malzahn and Chip Lindsey, it just didn't work out. You know, I think Chip Lindsey is an excellent offensive coordinator, but his philosophies and Gus Malzahn's philosophies at times just didn't match, because Auburn struggled mightily in a lot of areas. One, red zone scoring struggled very badly, and it cost them defensively in a lot of cases, with only having, you know, the time of possession was very abysmal, and that could cause a lot of hardship on your defense, especially a defense that has to compete on a high level against, you know, very, very high-powered offenses in the SEC. So you can't have your guys on the field basically the entire game with inexplicable 3-and-outs. Just really, really lack the continuity that Gus Malzahn traditionally has in his offenses. So during the offseason, Gus Malzahn and Chip Lindsey decides to part ways and bring in some young talent in Mr. Kenny Dillingham. Now, Kenny Dillingham brings a lot to the table, and we're going to talk about that real briefly. All right, so one thing about it, he had an offense last year that was ranked 4th nationally in total offense with 534 yards. Also, running the ball was pretty good as well at 282 yards rushing per game. I thought that was incredible, and also very, very high scoring offense, which is something that Auburn lacked last year. His offense, Kenny Dillingham's offense, averaged 43.6 points per game. Now, here's the deal. He also has a knack for developing football players. He coached All-American Darrell Henderson, who was a great running back last year and very, very high-level production running back with 1,909 yards last year, 1,909 yards last year, which is great. I mean, that's a lot of production. Now, he also has a great knack for developing quarterbacks. I thought Brady White, when I looked at him on film, was very fundamentally sound. Did an excellent job of protecting the football, threw for 33,125 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. He actually had 2 interceptions in that tough game that Memphis had against Missouri. And he just you could tell he was just having an off game. And in that particular game, his running back partner, Darrell Henderson, was hurt most of that game. So that kind of got Memphis off of their normal rhythm. But even still, in a game where Memphis wasn't that bad, I mean, not Memphis, but Missouri wasn't that bad on defense, still managing to score 33 points against Missouri, which was I would say, in the middle tier of defenses in the SEC. Very, very solid performance against a Power 5 team for Kenny Dillingham and his offense, because that's what I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at how did Kenny Dillingham's offense perform against either Power 5 teams or those teams like Houston, UCF, kind of close to being a Power 5, but not quite, but still, you know, play on a pretty high level. And his offense has performed very well in these games, which adds to the credibility as to why it makes sense for Auburn to hire a Kenny Dillingham, who only has 1 year of offensive coordinating experience. He's very, very good, though, at coaching the quarterback position. Now, one thing I can say that's going to be an excellent addition from the onset with Kenny Dillingham is, although he's a young guy, he's the type of guy where he's close enough to the players to influence them, but because of his unprecedented maturity for a 28-year-old young man, he's far enough maturity-wise to still inspire these guys. And I think that's going to be a huge testament for Kenny Dillingham long-term as a coach and a coordinator on the SEC level. Another thing I like about this is Kenny Dillingham is taking this job right in the middle of probably one of the most important quarterback battles in recent history for the Auburn Tigers. One thing I like about Kenny Dillingham and Gus Malzahn's relationship is, I believe, because of Kenny Dillingham's attention to detail, his willingness to really want to be successful and want Auburn to be successful offensively, I think Kenny Dillingham and Gus Malzahn are going to make the right decision in choosing the quarterback, because he's definitely going to have to be someone who protects the ball. And another thing that I thought about is the quarterback that Memphis had last year. You know, Brady White wasn't particularly a dual threat quarterback. Like, he had some dual threat tendencies, but he was kind of like Jarrett Stidham. He really didn't, want to run the ball like that. He would if he had to. But see, this year, Kenny Dillingham can add to his repertoire an actual dual threat quarterback with a unique ability to throw the football, because Malik Willis, Joey Gatewood, and Bo Nix all can throw the football to some degree of effectiveness. I think Bo Nix and Joey Gatewood, obviously the stronger passers out of the three. So that gives Kenny Dillingham some more options developmental wise to add to his repertoire. He actually was very instrumental in coaching the quarterbacks for the Purdue game, which in the Music City Bowl, which I think was phenomenal for him to get a chance to get a feel for the culture of Auburn and to start seeing where and how he's going to approach tackling this offensive coordinator job at Auburn, which is a very high level of competition in the SEC. So I think Kenny Dillingham was going to be a great addition to the Auburn Tigers. He comes with a lot of positive energy. Like I said before, he has a very good relationship with his players, and he's going to be a real good help with his energy recruiting wise, especially when you start that recruiting combination of Dillingham, Carnell Williams, Cody Burns, Travis Woodruff. I mean, they're developing a recruiting dream team down at Auburn. So I think a lot of reason for casual optimism with this hire. He brings some results to the table. I mean, number 4 ranked offenses, and he performed well against Power 5 teams. I think Auburn can look forward to a different kind of energy offensive-wise, and we're going to see a very interesting spring practice because of this hire, Kenny Dillingham. Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports, mostly talking about the Auburn Tigers and the rest of the SEC. Do me a favor, guys. Don't be lazy about this. When this video is over, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. War Eagle.